what's up? I'm going to be showing you a bug where you can land close to the pad without your landing gear deployed, and your ship actually lands when you get out of it. And with the Sabre, it actually becomes unflyable and you cannot get back into your ship at all. So I've landed. This is the first time it happened. I didn't realize it. And you can see I'm up here. I'm trying to get back into the ship and it's not coming up at all. And you can see the wings almost touching the ground over there. The gun's touching the ground under the nose of the ship. I expect it to be hovering where I left it. Instead, it's landed kind of on its own. So here I am back at Kareah, and I'm going to be exiting my ship again. This time I expect the bug to happen. So I get out of my ship. You can see it's still hovering. But as soon as I get out, the ship drops to the landing pad and is rendered unusable. So now I'm coming back after hacking the computer and looking around my ship. You can see the wings almost touching the ground. The rest of the ship, the bottom of the hull is touching the ground. So now after trying it with my Sabre, I decided to try it with my Super Hornet. And so I've come back to SPK and I'm going to fly over to the pad, strafe down, get kind of close to the pad, and then exit my Super Hornet. So now I'm exiting and you can see it's still floating. And then when I get out of the ship, turn around, you see the nose come down, and now the Super Hornet has landed without the landing gear deployed, just like the Sabre did. The difference between them both is that the Super Hornet is still flyable after this takes place, and the Sabre, you cannot fly the ship, you can't get in the cockpit, you can't do anything except for request a new ship. So now I'm successfully getting back into the cockpit of the Super Hornet, and you'll see me lift up and fly a little bit.
Enter aerospace. All systems online. Proximity alert.
So now that I've tried it out at SPK, I decided to see if it happens at Port Olisar as well. So I'm going to get in the Sabre and I'm going to strafe up just a little bit and exit the ship again and see if it lands on its own without the landing gear down. So I strafe up, retract the landing gear, now exit the ship. You can see it's still floating. The nose is moving up and down a little bit. Still, as I'm getting out, it's moving up and down a little bit. And then after I get out and the animation's done, see the nose come down and touch after the ladder goes back into the ship. And it's the same thing that happened over at SPK. So now I'm going to try it with an Aurora MR, and the Aurora MR is actually not going to have that same problem. It's going to stay hovering as I think it should be. So get in the ship, strafe up, retract the landing gear, exit the ship, and take a look. So I actually tried this with a Starfarer, and it stayed hovering after I exited the ship as well, just like the Aurora MR did. And it was just the regular Starfarer. It wasn't the Gemini. So that's the bug. Hopefully some of you can try it out with different ships and see what works and see what doesn't. And as you can see, the Aurora MR is still hovering, just like it should.